Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of Back to Basics. In today's video, I'm showing you how to make a lazy sourdough loaf. Yes, you heard this correctly, a lazy sourdough. Many of you have been emailing me and asking me to show you how to make a sourdough because yes, there is a load of information out there, loads of videos out there, but they are somewhat a little bit intimidating because sourdough, takes a long time to prove, and then you need to shape this, you need to fold this, and then you need to make design on it, that kind of thing. I can see how this is very much intimidating. So myself, I've been making the sourdough for many years, but I was doing this traditional way. But at the same time, guys, I found that it does take a very long time. It does take a bit of effort on my side. And unfortunately, our modern life, I don't always have time to do this. So I have designed a recipe that still keeps the integrity of sourdough, but it is made much easier. So without further ado, guys, let's proceed. So guys, first things first, okay, we do require our sourdough starter. If you don't know how to make a sourdough starter, I've done a video and I put the link up there for you to have a look. But generally, okay, before you start your loaf, you still have to plan this in advance, and you do need to feed your sourdough starter a few hours before you start using this. So here I've got a very active starter that's been fed a few hours back, and I can see it's sort of bubbling really nicely. So I'm gonna take my starter, okay, you can see here I've got basically half a jar, so we need approximately 100 grams. But there's no harm, okay? It's approximately a cupful, okay? So sourdough goes in, and then I've got 300 milliliters of water. So get it all mixed in. The steps are the same. Original steps are the same as how would you make a traditional sourdough. Right, so it dissolves really nicely, very quickly. Okay, so now I'm going to add on just a pinch of salt. Okay, get it mixed in. Okay, and now we're going to add on our flour. I've got here 500 grams of organic bread flour. There goes. And let's get it mixing. So, right, make sure you incorporate it as best as you can. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect at this stage. So you can see the dough here, it's messy, it's lumpy, so leave it there, just punch it with your hand a bit. Okay, and now, all we're gonna do, we're gonna put the plate on top, or put the wet kitchen towel, and we're gonna leave this for about an hour. So, an hour have passed, okay, and our dough is spread it about. It's really strange, right? But the sourdough behaves totally different. Even using the same proportion of water to flour, it just behaves differently. But nonetheless, okay, you can see it's kind of became a bit, a bit more stickier than it was. A flour started to incorporate a little bit better, and the yeast is actually working. So the next thing, right, I've got a little bit of water, okay, and I'm gonna wet my hand, one actually, and then all I'm gonna do, this is kind of thing you normally do with the sourdough, but you do this quite a lot, and we're not going to be doing this quite a lot because the whole idea was simplifying things. So just trying to incorporate this into like a round shape, if you wish, using the water so we just doesn't stick to our hands too much. Okay, and this is how generally sourdough builds up gluten, so you have those big air bubbles. So do this a few times. Okay, don't worry, it will become a little bit more sticky, but don't worry, that's fine. Okay, so there we go. You can see that it's gloopy and it's wet. Right, so, okay, that's that. No need to overdo it, literally, no need to overdo it. Traditionally, you could be doing this for like 10 minutes every hour or so, like, for the next 5 hours, but we don't have time for that, nor the patience, to be frank. So nonetheless, right, here we are. Leave it there, okay? I'll put the plate back on there, and I will see you in about half an hour. So, we're now ready for the next step. So, you can see here, the dough chilled a little bit more, okay? Got myself non-stick mat. Gonna put a little bit of flour in here. And as you will see, I've got myself a bread tin, because this is how we're gonna be proving our sourdough. Because we're not needing this, we're not developing sort of gluten by hand constantly because we're saving time, this is going to help us maintain the shape. So, a bit of flour on there, let's get the dough out. You'll notice after a while it's been sitting there, it will just become more stretchy anyway. It totally changed the texture. Okay, so let me get it out. There we go. Right. So now we're gonna gently shape it. Don't be too rough with it, okay? Those bubbles takes ages to build up. We don't want to ruin them. Oh. It's very sticky. There we go. So just work it just a little bit. A little bit. Do make sure, okay, when you start really shaping this to fit your tin, that the sides are also quite floured, because it will stick. And if it sticks in the base, you won't be able to get it out. Okay. So, nothing complicated. So I shaped it like you would do a normal bread dough. Okay, so now I'm going to take a bit more flour, put it at the bottom. Okay, so now I'm going to drop our sourdough inside. There we go. Just gently press it in so it kind of fits in your tin. Okay, and that's that. So it's now inside. You can see it's sort of less than half the tin, but this is that. As soon as our work goes, this is done. So now, okay, two options. It all depends on the temperature and how active your sourdough starter was. You can leave this on the counter 4 to 5 hours, okay, or you can put this in the fridge overnight. Again, all depends. Apparently, if you leave this in the fridge longer, it creates a slightly better texture. But again, I haven't found any difference, to be fair. Generally, it just works differently anyway. It's just what it is, unfortunately. But nonetheless, cover it up and prove this whatever way. So I'm going to leave mine overnight, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. So guys, here we are, and the next day you can see our sourdough is more than doubled in size, and you just about can see some lovely bubbles on top. No, this is not conventional look of the sourdough, but I'm very, very happy with the results. So the next step is, okay, preheat your oven to 190 degrees if you're using a normal oven. I'm going to be using air fryer at 180 degrees. In there goes for 30 minutes. So voila, our bread is ready. I let it cool down ever so slightly so I can just pick it up a bit better, but okay, make sure you tap it or insert the skewer to make sure it's fully cooked. But look at that. It's kind of funky, isn't it? So, right, let's have a look what it looks like inside. So, there we are, guys, look. It does look pretty funky, doesn't it? Anyway, let's cut it up. And it smells absolutely beautiful. Did you hear that? Beautiful. It's still a bit warm, so it makes it a bit harder. But here we go. Look at those bubbles on the top. That is pretty good. I'm very, very happy with that. Very happy. So guys, there we are. I honestly could not be happier. One thing you got to understand, because this is sourdough not done the conventional way of either how we shape it or how we bake it. So the texture of it'd be slightly different, but nonetheless, it still tastes amazing. And the whole fact is that it's so easy. If you think, we cut out like probably 50% if no more of work required by doing the traditional sourdough. There's no scoring, there's none of this folding this constantly, you know, we just done this, we put it in there, we let it sit, we let it rest, we let it rise, done this final time, baked, and boom, we are done. It smells good and it tastes good. So there we are. So I hope you guys have found this video helpful, and if you were scared of giving a sourdough a go, then please don't be. It is very easy and you won't regret it. So anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, please don't forget, thumbs up, subscribe if not a subscriber. It is very important to the channel, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye bye.